talking about the paper? Yeah. So yeah, when we after the class, just pull it out, check out, put it in, check it. That way we know you all attended the class. That's important for your devices.
All right, we good?
Yes.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Hi, everyone. My name is Bevon Joseph. I was here yesterday talking about AI. Today, we'll talk about financial intelligence, financial literacy, but also touch on AI as well, too. So, a little background. I live in Chicago. I moved here from New York about 15 years ago. My entire background was on Wall Street, looking at banks, stock exchanges. 10 years ago, I started a nonprofit called the Greenwood Project in Chicago to introduce Black and Latinx kids to careers in finance, high school summer programs, college internships. I've worked with like over 600 young people from the south and west sides of Chicago. They're living in New York, Denver, LA, working in finance today and tech. But I spend a lot of my time talking to young people, young professionals, high school kids, K through 12 about financial literacy. And I started using the term financial intelligence because it's okay to like learn what a checking account is and a banking account, but you need to know what to do with that information. So that's why we've kind of shifted to financial intelligence now. But again, feel free to stop me while I'm talking. I could talk all day, but definitely if you have questions, jump in. But again, I do this in Chicago, New York, Detroit, Baltimore, and some other cities, working with public school systems, high school and college, nonprofits, workforce development organizations. I also work with the African American Mayors Association in 24 cities, and we do the same thing as well. But again, my job is to sit between education and work with young people primarily, but also yesterday I was talking about every Wednesday I go to a library and I work with seniors as well and introducing them to how to use their email and what is AI. And they have a lot of questions. And I see my friend is back here from yesterday. We were talking about, you know, AI. AI is like dominating every conversation. Even seniors are asking what it is and how they can use it. So my job is to make it really simple, to simplify AI in a way that anybody can understand. So we're gonna go through this presentation here. Um, so again, in the digital age, and the young men were talking about some of the stuff earlier in their presentation. But what we've done is we've built tools, like really simple tools built with AI to help folks understand what it is and how to really use it in their day-to-day life. And I'll show you guys some of the stuff that we've built. So instead of me just running through a presentation, I'll actually show you like what we've been doing for students, their parents, their teachers. I meet with parents every month virtually in New York, and they have questions about FAFSA and budgeting, and their young person just got their first job. Can you teach them about taxes? This week alone, I've met with over maybe 100 young people in Chicago who are part of One Summer Chicago. So they're working with the city for 6 weeks. They're getting paid. And when I meet them, I said, hey, how much money are you going to make for the entire 6 weeks? Let's do the math. You know how much money you're getting paid per hour? How many hours are you working a week? For 6 weeks. They do the math. They get the number. It's $2,500, whatever. They're all super happy. Then I said, do you know what taxes are? And everybody gets sad and depressed, right? I said, nobody likes taxes, right? But then we have to teach them, right? I was like, no, you're not gonna go home with $2,500, right? And we figure out their tax bracket and all that stuff, and that's a dose of reality for young people, and sometimes for adults too, right? But that's what I do. I go around the city and in other cities, and I work with young people to help them start thinking at a very early age about financial literacy, financial intelligence, budgeting, saving, and again, do that with parents, teachers as well too. So we can look at some of the stuff that we've built for them. So I run a couple organizations. One is called Campus Coin Invest. This was started 2.5 years ago in New York City in 3 high schools. I partnered with the Department of Education there. They invited me in to start this program, financial literacy, entrepreneurship education for young people. We started in 3 high schools and we're in 57 today, right? 45 in Queens and the rest in Brooklyn. And we expanded to the Bronx and other places. We're doing the same thing in Chicago, Des Moines, Iowa, and other places. But we have this website, we do events. This is an event we did in March. We had 1,200 young people at St. John's University. We brought this to Chicago on May 22nd at IIT. We had 300 students from CPS. Next year we'll have about 1,000 there, right? And again, when I talk about financial literacy, I'm not talking about just a one-off workshop for young people. We actually keep working with them throughout the school year, in the summer. What we do also is mix networking in there. So I take young people to visit companies. I take them out of the classroom and actually expose them to what careers in finance look like, careers in tech and other stuff, right? It's not good enough to have young people in a classroom all day long. We got to show them what the real world looks like, and my job is to expose them. You know, I always say kids can't be what they can't see. So we got to kids kids can't be what they can't see. You got to take them out of their community, take them out of their classroom, and take them out of what they see every day, and show them something different. And I've seen the results of that over the last 10 years. There's no coincidence that the young people I put on a plane every summer, 30 of them, high school and college sometimes, take them to New York for a week on Wall Street to visit 2 companies a day. 10 years later, many of them are living and working in New York, making 6 figures and more on Wall Street, right? So there's a direct connection between financial literacy, yes, but also what does a career in finance and tech look like? Because you have to show them that, right? And I work only with black and brown students, and I want to show them black and brown people in finance and tech because representation matters. Again, if they don't see themselves up here, they'll think that they can never make it, right? Because the C-suite in America is predominantly white and male, right? So my job is to show young people a different side of that. And a lot of them, again, are getting promoted now and doing amazing things. Again, all kids from the south and west sides of Chicago, right? So I'll just show you some of the stuff that we built for parents, right? So these are student and family tools that we built. So we always tell young people, you know, go be a doctor, go into finance, go into tech, but we don't ever show them how to do that, right? We don't ever give them the blueprint. So we created a blueprint, right? So this thing right here is a career blueprint for students, for parents as well too. But what we did is we looked at all the careers. These are 10 career examples. These are some of the fastest growing, highest paying AI driven careers right now. Some of them paying $300,000 and up, right? I meet young people every day who say, I really like math, but I don't want to be a teacher. What do I do with that? I said, well, you can be a quantitative trader at a hedge fund. It's like, what is that? Okay, now I need to introduce them to somebody who does that. So I bring some of my friends out to their school. Hey, this is what they do. Then we take those kids to their firm to have a day in the life of the shadow, a lunch and learn. But again, what we're doing is we're showing them, right? We're demystifying, making it super simple. Like if you're good at math, these are some of the careers you should be looking at, right? So this one here, for example, and we're showing them from middle school all the way to college and beyond, right? And we're showing them the AI impact on that career. I have a big problem with schools, high schools in particular, and they're not preparing young people for the world of work at all, especially with AI. I meet young people every single day in Queens, from Queens to Detroit to LA, and when I ask them what kind of college major are you looking at, what they tell me is pretty much the same thing, right? These are jobs that they're pursuing that will pay them like $40,000 to $50,000 after school, and they'll have $100,000+ in college loans. I was like, that doesn't make sense at all, right? So what schools aren't doing today is they're not giving young people enough information to make an informed decision on a college major that makes sense. They're not doing that, and that's what I'm trying to do. So when I ask young people, what do you want to major in? Do you want to start a business? And when you talk about entrepreneurship, because not everybody's going to go to college, right? Some young people have great ideas. They want to start a business. With AI these days, you can start that from your phone in 5 minutes. Right now, I'm working with about 40 young people from some of Chicago, some on the south side, on the west side, and we're building an app, right, using AI. I asked them to identify a big challenge in their community that they would like to solve, that nobody else is solving. And the majority was mentorship. They have no mentors, they have no role models, and they want to be exposed to more things outside of their community. So it's like, okay, let's turn that into an app that we can monetize. We can make money from. You guys could get paid. So I said to them, there was 25 of them or whatever, I said, each one of you guys, your job is to go recruit 5 friends. And my job is to recruit mentors. So on this side, we have a whole bunch of young people. On this side, we have a bunch of adults who want to help. And we're going to build an AI platform, right, to connect those two. And how are we going to make money? Every mentor is going to pay $5 a month. right? I asked this question yesterday at the session. I said the average monthly cost for all our subscriptions like Netflix, the music, Prime is between $80 and $100. And I'll ask you guys the same question I asked yesterday. Would you pay $5 to help a young person in Chicago?
Yeah.
Everybody says yes. $5 a month, right? That helps a young person meet an adult who wants to help them understand different types of careers, you know, just have a conversation with, right? See something different, come visit their company. So that's what we're doing. We're going to build a platform, AI driven platform. And my commitment to the young people is I'll help you build it. You got to go recruit your friends. And every friend that you bring has to bring 5 more friends. And they're getting paid for it, right? So again, something else we're doing this summer, we're going into 3 barbershops, south side, west side, and north side. And we're going to take 10 to 15 young men and do the same thing. They'll go into those barbershops and build apps with AI for the community that they can monetize and make money from. See, the problem with digital literacy, financial literacy, we always have to chase it, right? We always have to go find it. No, we want to bring it into the community, into the barbershop. This is a place where young men get their hair cut every time. They come with their dad, they come with their parents, right? So we'll have parents and their kids working together. We'll be talking about financial literacy, careers, but they'll be building something together as a family that they can monetize and make money from. So again, when you think about financial literacy, it's not just a banking account, what a stock is. It's really how do you make money from the things that you do well? How do you monetize that? So again, this is just one of the things that we build for students and parents. And all these careers here, again, you can see the average salary, $200,000, 155, right? All these are careers that 99% of the high school kids I meet today have never heard of before. Never heard of them. Now, there's another side of this, right, where there's communities that are born into these things, right? When you talk about privilege and not, right, no privilege and access and no access, I've worked on Wall Street for a long time, and sometimes there's days where you can bring your kid to work, and I remember 20 years ago, traders bringing their kids to work, and again, no coincidence that 20 years later, those kids are traders. Again, you can't be what you can't see, and if you're seeing access and privilege and financial literacy every day, guess what's going to happen? If you're born into a family of attorneys, it's a high likelihood you become an attorney, right? But if you're born without access and without financial literacy and digital literacy, then you got to struggle and try to figure that out on your own. That's not fair. We got to level the playing field somehow. And that's what we're trying to do. But all this stuff is free. Go to campuscoinvest.com. You can share this with your young people, teachers. Like we work with career centers at colleges, high schools, because career guidance people are outnumbered. And most of them have never worked in industry. So they can't tell a young person what it's like to work at Goldman Sachs if you've never worked there. You can't tell a young person what it's like to work at Microsoft if you've never worked there, right? You can't tell a young person what a 401k is if you've never had one. And every single kid that we work with is a first generation college student. So we also work with parents. Like again, we bring parents in on a quarterly basis at campuses in New York City, college campuses. We bring Bank of America in there, Chase, all these companies to talk about financial planning, retirement, investing. Because when you work with young people and you get them excited about something, they take it home. And if they take it home and they can't have that conversation with their parents, then, right? So we take a holistic approach to financial literacy. Teachers are involved, parents are involved, kids are involved. So everybody's on the same page. So we have a website just for parents as well that they can actually have tools about credit, all that kind of stuff. And this one here is I created this with students like in 5 minutes. I went to speak to these 25 kids and I said, had that conversation about taxes and how much they're making. And they was like, well, is there an easy way for me to like do this? Like, is there an app for this? I was like, let's make one right now. So we made this while we were having that conversation, right? So they'll put their hourly rate and all that. And when they click on this button, this is what they see, right? Spending, entertainment, giving, saving, right? How much are they going to make? Taxes, right? If they're saving for a laptop or whatever, we give them tips. They love this. Like, this is like what I need because now they can track their saving, they can track their spending, right? Now, we're not We're not trying to like reinvent the wheel. There's a lot of things online to do this. Like every bank that you work with has something like this. What we do is we build things like this with students or with the community, because AI and all that stuff is built for us, not with us. We build tools with students, with families. We said everything you see on our website is from our young people and their parents and teachers. Like we sit down and ask, like, what do you need? They said they need a career map pathway thing. They need something like this, right? They need like simple mini courses about credit, right? They need how to budget. Like they're telling us what they need. And the beauty about AI is you can build it in 2 minutes. Like you could just spin it up right now and it's done, right? So again, financial literacy is the kind of the topic, but below that is really how do you make money using the skills that you have today, right? How do you teach people that? How do you monetize things, solutions for your community, right? How do you help people from ages 0 to 100 plus learn this stuff? Because it's affecting every single part of our lives forever, right? There's a lot of people making a lot of money off of AI, off of our data, our information. And so when we are building stuff, we're like taking these ideas from young people directly and say, hey, what do you want to see? And then we teach them how to do it themselves. Like we're not keeping the information to ourselves either. Like I do workshops every day teaching business owners, parents, teachers, like how to do this stuff, right? Because it's really easy to do. So again, FAFSA, it's always a challenge for first generation kids and their families because nobody's ever done it in their family before. They're relying on teachers, they're relying on counselors. Again, they're overworked, overwhelmed. We created an easy to understand dates, the checklist, right? Parents can use this, teachers can use this, students can use it, right? Just to give them an easy tool to figure out this process. Because FAFSA is like this crazy thing that it's like a test that nobody gives you the answers for. You don't even know how to study for this thing if you've never done it before. It's really confusing, right? So we asked parents, like, what do you need to figure out this stuff? And they told us, and we built it for them. And we put it in the hands of teachers and students. Now everybody knows how to at least start figuring out this stuff, right? So those are like samples. And we got like more stuff that we're building as well. This is just like a budget thing that we created for kids to like put their stuff in and figure out a budget, right? It'll generate charts and stuff like that for them. So a big part of what we do is events as well too. So we partner with universities and school systems in other cities, and we put on these events. I take kids like to the New York Stock Exchange and stuff like that. So and we just expose them, right? We fill college campuses with like 1,500 kids at a time and have day-long conferences and stuff like that, and really teach them everything we can about financial literacy. So again, when it comes to financial intelligence, right? It's super important. It's always important. I always try to think about how do you start building generational wealth, not just pay our bills. And it's hard, and everybody's working, and not everybody has free cash to start investing and stuff like that. Again, the beauty of technology today and AI in particular, you can start investing with $2 today, right now, for free, right? So you think about Apple, you think about Nike, all these big companies that are stocks that you can buy. A share of Apple stock today is like $200, and most people don't have $200 to start buying like 10 shares of Apple, but you can buy $5 worth. It's called fractional shares. You can buy a piece of it until you have a whole $200 worth of it, right? And students, young people in particular, and some older people too, when you talk about investing, they think about buy low, sell high, right? That's trading. There's trading and then there's investing. You want to be an investor. An investor is like having a 401k. You're working, money is going in there. You're not going to really touch that unless there's an emergency. Same thing with investing. You're going to invest in that company and just let it go, right? Now, there's a lot of education that has to go along with what companies to pick, what stocks to pick, right? So you pick stuff that has been around, like Apple's been around for a long time. They're not going anywhere. Nike, Coca-Cola, like all these companies are not going anywhere. Those are safe, right? Safer, right? And I talk to young people about, okay, you're making money this summer. Where are you putting that money? It's like in the bank, or they don't have a bank account. And I said, would you invest that money or would you save it in a bank account? There's like 100% of them said put it in the bank. And I said to them, do you know about interest? How much interest does Chase pay you on $100 for the year? A penny? I don't know. It's ridiculous, right? It's ridiculous. So banks make money off our money. So I said the average return of the stock market is 10 to 12% a year. Where would you rather put your money? You know what I'm saying? So I think there's little pieces of information like that because nobody's talking to young people about that. Nobody's talking to a lot of adults about that either, right? There's no lack of information. What there is a lack of like trusted resources and people and organizations to go to, right? Because if you go to your bank and say, hey, I want to start investing and trading, they might say, well, you need to have a minimum, right, in your account or whatever, because they're going to charge you a fee to start helping you invest your money. Same thing with Northwestern Mutual, right? Prudential, they're financial advisors. They're in business to make money, not give it away, right? But there's a lot of stuff you can do on your own, is what I'm saying, right? There's a lot of platforms like Robinhood, Stash, Fidelity, like Schwab. They all have like things you can install on your phone and start on a weekly basis transfer $5.
All right, good point, guys. Right. I want to ask a question now. Say, for instance, I'm a new person, AI, or I'm a new person to AI, like some of the student participants are here. What would you say is the easiest way for them to start, like, looking at it, or where would they go to get more information about it, or say, for instance, they just don't have any idea about AI, if they want to take up some of these things we're talking about, where's the best place for them to start?
Campuscoininvest.com.
Say it again.
Campuscoininvest.com. Like we have like free, right, intro to AI. Oh, so I'll put it up here. It's campuscoininvest.com. Right? So if you go there, that's our website. Like we have like mini courses. We have again stuff just for parents only. But yeah, this is like I was telling her, this is like my 6th or 7th workshop this week, talking about financial literacy and AI. Right? Everybody wants to talk about it. Everybody's on every single workshop is like an intro. Like these are the basic things. This is where you start, right? If you want to learn about AI, like what the young man did out here today is like what it is, the terminology, how do you use it every day. I just spoke to some business owners at Bradley University yesterday virtually, and they're just asking like, how do I use it for my business? I have a small business. How is AI useful to me? And then we talk about that. We teach them about that. I also have a consulting business where we do it for them. We have something called Do It For You AI. We'll teach you about it, but most entrepreneurs don't have time to do it, right? They want to learn about what it is, but they don't have the time or the resources to do it, so we do it for them, right? So I think, yeah, it's definitely a great place to start. We're going to have a ton of like free resources. Like, listen, these are the common tools that we use for AI, myself and my team, right? This is a good way to start learning the basics of it as well too. And then again, feel free to share it to your community, if you have students, parents, etc. But yeah, definitely like we are gonna, that's the thing that we're trying to do. We're trying to filter all the noise. There's no lack of information again. There's a lack of like, where do I start? People just want to know like, where do I start? What's the thing that people are, more like using the most these days or whatever? That's literally the question that I get every day. Is like, where do I start? So again, this is just some stats around financial literacy and financial intelligence. A lot of people living paycheck to paycheck, right? Trying to figure out, yes, they know they should be saving, they should be investing. They feel like they don't have any money at all to start. And again, with technology, AI, these platforms, these apps, it's free to make trades. You can start with $5 a month. There's no minimum to have in your account, right? Again, there's a bunch of platforms that I've been using and partnering with for years. I'm happy to share with you guys as well too. But they also all have education built in. So if you're a new investor or a new trader or whatever, it's like this is where you start. Like and they actually have like fake money you can invest. So they'll give you like $100,000 of fake money, and you go and you pick stocks and you build your portfolio and practice for like a month, 2 months if you want to, and see how you do. before you put your actual money in there. Like I do the stock market game every summer with high school and college kids. We pick a stock, they study it and research it for the summer, and they pitch it for like real money. But they're tracking this company for 6 or 10 weeks, and then they're pitching it like a Shark Tank competition for real money and all that stuff. But they're getting real practice, right? Because they're actually tracking the stock market and in a safe space. So for everybody in this room who wants to start investing, I suggest that like create a fake portfolio on this Yahoo Finance. There's all these like free platforms. I can share that with you guys as well. Just create, some brands that you know. We teach this thing called invest in what you use every day. I was with some young people earlier this week, and I'm looking at the gym shoes that they wear. Everybody's like Jordans or whatever, Nikes. So I said, what company makes the Jordan brand? Most of them didn't even know. All they know is Jordan. I said, Nike. And Nike is a publicly traded company. Let's look at the stock price, right? Instead of like spending all your money this summer on gym shoes, why don't you own a piece of that company? Do you want to be an owner? They're like, yeah. Do you want to own Nike? Yeah. So let's buy a share. Oh, you don't have $200? Do you have $5? Yes. So every week, put aside $5, and it automatically goes by the end of the summer, you have a piece of Nike. You're an owner. So I think part of my job is to get people in a mindset of becoming an owner and not just a consumer. Because these companies are making billions of dollars and because of us. Right? So teach young people how to become owners. So look at the brands that they're wearing that, they got Apple iPhones, they got, right, all these brands that they're investing all their money in, the entire paycheck. Right? A lot of adults are doing that as well. Right? When you think about building generational wealth, it starts with $1. It starts with $1 and one person sometimes. Right? So when I talk to parents who say, I'm living paycheck to paycheck, I said, I understand that, but we could show you how to start, at least start. Right? And then teach your young people how to do that as well too. Again, talking about first generation families, limited tech access. So part of digital literacy is also the hardware, the technology, right? We work with corporate partners who donate laptops to our kids, right? We work with Verizon, Comcast to make sure they have internet access at home as well too. Because what happened with AI is in New York City, for example, and maybe some other cities, I don't know if Chicago did it, they banned the use of AI in schools, right? In New York City initially, right? The issue with that is when you do that, most kids, the only place they have access to AI is in school. When they go home, they don't have access, don't have a laptop, they have no internet at home, right? So what you're doing there is widening the digital divide even more because the other kids are going home and they have internet at home and they have like 5 laptops and they have their parents who are in tech and all that stuff. You see what I'm saying? So New York City has since reversed that and found ways to monitor it, but a lot of kids only have internet access at school or where there's public Wi-Fi and stuff. Yeah, yeah, definitely. So Campus Core and Invest actually has a platform as well that's catered for parents, like I said, teachers, students, and we could customize that for anybody, for any audience, pretty much, right? So yes, we built something for veterans. We built something for people who are justice involved as well too. We've done what we're trying to do is use AI and technology to serve the people that it needs to serve, right? Again, there's people who are making tons of money off of this stuff, and they're building it for everybody else, thinking that's what we want. They're not asking us at all, right? So I'm very concerned about seniors, veterans, right, young people, anybody who is trying to figure this stuff out and doesn't have the time, the resources, the access, the technology, know-how, right? This room, I don't know, 30 people or so in here. Like this information should be widely available to everybody, not just the people in this room. Now, well, we also have a responsibility to take what we learn here and take it, right, and share and pass it along. That's how kind of change happens, right? But yeah, definitely our job is to meet everybody, where they're at and bring the technology to them, like in the barbershops, right, at places like this, at conferences, like schools, like anywhere that I get asked to come and I have the time and the band, I go, you know. Yeah, yeah. So a lot of young people who I work with, they'll invite me. All these young people I work with, I also like instill in them giving back, right? I say we'll open a door for you, but you got to keep it open for somebody else, right? We lift as we climb, maybe say. So yeah, they'll start doing their own thing and invite me, right? And whether that's churches, the Black Women's Expo is coming up August 1st, August 3rd. The first day is the Teen Summit. I'll be on the main stage with 4 of my mentees talking about financial literacy, right? So hundreds of young people, ages 15 and up, right? I have a link that I can share with you guys. Any young person that you have is free to attend. They should be there, right? But we'll be on the stage talking about all this stuff for teens at the Teen Summit part of it as well. In October, on October 4th, the city treasurer, I work with her pretty closely. She has a big event at UIC, the building well today for tomorrow. I'll be there doing a session just for young men on financial literacy, right? And mentorship and all that stuff. So again, anywhere that I get asked to go and I have the time, I try to be there and I bring my young people with me because I could talk all day, but I want people to hear from them and say what has been the impact. Because what I did is I would meet young people at their junior year of high school, and they would stay with me until they graduate from college. 6 years, and they would get paid every summer. They get paid every summer, high school all the way through college. And when they got to college, they got paid internships across the country. They wouldn't have to pay for housing. They don't have to pay for anything. They bank their entire paycheck. We cover everything. We work with corporate partners on housing, transportation, airfare, all that stuff. And these are kids who are going to strange cities. So we never send them by themselves. We send them in like 5, 10, and they're from Chicago and from other places, right? So again, our goal is and it's expensive to do all that stuff, but you have to do it. Like that's the cost. You got to pay young people for their time. Because if they're not with me this summer, they're going to be working in retail or whatever. That's fine, but I'd rather them be making $20 an hour in investment banking rather than being at Potbellies. That's just the way I look at it, right? So all the jobs that we place kids in internships in college are all high-paying jobs. Tellers, we don't do that. We don't do anything low-level because we're focused on helping them build financial intelligence, generational wealth. You can't do that as a teller, right? The starting salary in investment banking out of college is $100,000. Right? I have 5 of my mentees now working at Goldman Sachs in New York, Salt Lake City, and Chicago. 5, right? These are kids who are not finance majors, not economic majors. These are kids who are smart, ambitious, open-minded, and coachable. And they show up on time. And we teach them all those skills, right? Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, UBS, Chase, Bank of America, they're not looking for finance majors. They're looking for those kids. And what I do is I get them ready to meet those companies. I teach what I call how to be at work skills. Nobody teaches kids how to be at work in school, right? Nobody does that in high school or college, because most professors have never worked anywhere before. You can't teach a kid how to be in finance or what a day in a life of in finance if you've never done it. So I end up in a lot of classrooms, and I said this yesterday. I don't get along with professors because my job is to take the information from the companies and bring it to the students so they know what the companies are expecting of them. And then my job also is to work primarily with students of color who have never worked in finance and tech, right? And get them to understand what the inside information is, like what they're going to encounter when they show up and how to deal with that, how to navigate that situation. Because those are the things that nobody tells you unless you've lived it, right? I started my nonprofit 10 years ago because every trading floor, every company I worked at, I was the only person who looked like me, talked like me, right? My background, like nobody else. I had imposter syndrome for like 10 years. I stayed quiet. I never said anything because I didn't think I belonged there. I couldn't have a conversation with traders because I didn't go to their school. I'm not from their neighborhoods. Right? I just stayed quiet. And then I quickly realized if I wanted to like move up, I had to like find my voice somehow. And I came out of my shell. I made friends, right? But I didn't want that to happen to other students. So that's why I started my nonprofit called the Greenwood Project, named after Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma, right? And the story of Black Wall Street, again, something embedded in everything I do with young people. The Greenwood Project. Yeah. But I wanted young people to understand that story of Black Wall Street and what those people were able to do as a community, right? But again, I started doing this because of my lived experience. I had to teach myself about financial literacy. I had to teach myself about investing. I had to teach myself everything, right? So instead of spending 10 years being quiet, now we can shrink that to like 10 minutes or one summer for young people, right? And now they can take that information and pass it along. I've had like multiple generations of like siblings come into our program because the oldest one came in like 2017. Younger brother saw what he was doing. Oh, living in New York now. I want to follow in his footsteps, right? Brother after him saw the same thing. Now I want to do tech. So it starts with one student. There's a ripple effect for giving a young person opportunity because now you're changing generations to come, right? You're trying to break. Well, what you're trying to do is break generational cycles of lack of access. And how do you do that? With opportunity and education and financial literacy and all these tools on AI and all that stuff. And for young people who want to start businesses, now we are showing them how to use AI to do that in real time almost, right? There's a lady that I'm a friend with. She's in Canada. She makes $50,000 a month teaching small business owners how to use AI. Literally, like she just built an app with many courses and stuff on there, and she sells it to small business owners in Canada, and she makes like 50 grand a month. Right? So what I was trying to teach these young people with the mentoring app is you guys could do the same thing. You just need help. You need guidance. You need mentorship. And that's where like all of us in this room can help. Because we all know somebody, right, who can help somebody, especially young people. In Chicago in particular, I think there's the narrative in Chicago about young people is totally opposite to what I've seen for the last 10 years. All the communities that you see on the news every night, those are where my kids are. Every single one of them, from the west side to the south side, right? That's where all my students come from. They don't have the perfect GPA, but again, they're coachable, they're open-minded, they want to do better, and they want to see the world. And that's all I needed to know. I went to the companies and I convinced them that I'll find them, get them ready, and bring them to your doorstep. All you have to say is yes. So those 5 young people who are working at Goldman Sachs today, making 6 figures plus, didn't go through the regular internship process. They came through my relationship with Goldman Sachs. Because I used to work there, they trust me to get these young people ready, to meet them, and when they met them, they only were supposed to hire 2, they hired all 5. Right? So again, when you think about financial literacy, that's just the topic. It's everything else that comes along with that is like super important, you know? So again, main problem with solving outdated curriculum, schools don't teach this. I think there are 25 states that mandate high school kids graduate having taken a financial literacy course. Just 25. It's a mandatory standalone thing. In Chicago and other places, they wrap it into civics and all that stuff, right? They got to take 15 hours in New York for the year. Standalone financial literacy should be a thing. Because we're sending our kids to college, and credit card companies are like all over them. And kids get a credit card, what? Free money. They ain't got no job. They have nothing, right? We talk to parents about how they can open up a credit card. You know, there's apps for this and all that too, where kids earn money through chores or whatever. But there's also adding your kid to your credit card, getting them their own credit card, monitoring it, putting limits on there to get them to build their credit. But again, schools are not focused on this stuff, right? My opinion, there's too much money to be made of our kids when they get to college, right? But in New York City, again, we're in 57 high schools and it's happening, right? And because the parents and the teachers and the kids are on the same page. So we're sending educated kids to college. When I say educated, I mean financial literacy, picking majors that make sense, right? And also understanding credit, right? Credit reports, FAFSA, loans, right? And always thinking about how do I end up with a job that's going to pay me enough, right? Pay me enough to pay my loans off, actually help them find scholarships while they're in school as well too. But how do we get them as close to debt free as possible when they leave college? Get a paid internship every summer from your freshman year. That's possible. There's so many college kids that I meet they're about to graduate from college never had an internship. They've never had an internship because like they didn't even know that they were supposed to do that. Right? We get kids internships from their freshman year. There's freshman programs just for college students. So I strongly, if you know any young person who's heading off to college, tell them they need to start looking in their freshman year for an internship. Don't wait because nobody's gonna hire you if you're graduating next month and you start looking for a job and you're a computer science major or finance major. You have zero experience, right? So join a program, try to get an internship, right? Start networking like crazy because that's gonna matter. And internships are changing really quickly because of AI. It used to be that they would hire interns and train them to help the company. Now they expect interns to come with some AI skills to help the company and then add value right away. So internships are changing forever. If you know any young person who's touched ChatGPT, any type of AI tool, tell them to put it on their resume ASAP. Put it on your resume. You don't need to be an expert. Even if you're looking for a job right now and you know or you've been playing around with this stuff, put it on your resume ASAP. Right? Example, in finance, about 45 to 50% of job descriptions for summer internships today require some knowledge of AI. That means if your resume doesn't, they scan it through a software program, if they don't find those keywords, they're not even talking to you. They won't even have a conversation. Yeah. Right, right. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah, my contact information is on there. I mean, and also like what you just said. So when you start investing, you got to take the emotion out of it. A lot of us we get attached to our stocks. We're on our phone like the market drops. We're like, oh man, I gotta sell. Just leave it alone. It goes like this. And news moves the market, right? President said something crazy, all of a sudden, right? Stocks are down, right? But again, if you're invested in solid companies that aren't going anywhere, you don't have to worry about it. Well, yeah, I mean, there's situations where we need, right? We have, yeah. No, definitely haven't reached out. I mean, but he's doing something right, yeah. I say he's doing something right. No, definitely, you can have him, reach out to us as well too. My stuff is gonna be up here when I'm, yeah. I'm gonna put it up here, yeah. But again, this is all the stuff that I was talking about, the toolkits, everything is community centered, right? Built for and with the community as well too, with their input, right? We kind of go into the schools, we go into like nonprofits and ask them like what they need, and we build it for them, really quickly. So this is for the Sim Campus Coin website as well too. Again, feel free to like play around with all those tools. If you have ideas, we have a form on there. You can actually suggest like, hey, are you guys working on tools like this? Or my community needs this. What do you think about this? Can you help us? We work with chambers of commerce. We work with everybody. Nonprofits, like I said, workforce development organizations, and literally sit down with them and say, what are your biggest pains right now? And how do we figure out how AI solution can fix that? Right? And we build it with them, right? We co-design, we co-build, and we co-fund. Like that's what we do, right? We don't come and say, hey, here's something we built, buy it. Like we don't do that. We want to build the thing that is going to be useful, right? And anybody else can use as well. So I know there's some digital navigators that were here yesterday, and some might be here today. We do a train the trainer model to where we train digital navigators and keep them like do upskilling. AI is changing so quickly, literally by the second, and my team and myself is to like stay up to date with that. And then if there's something like major that we need to talk about, we'll train upskill digital navigators, etc. And again, we do this everywhere. So my job, I guess, is to be obsessed with this stuff and to be in tune with it to make sure that our communities are getting that information directly. Again, all this stuff is on our website, but feel free. Again, if you're part of an organization, you're a teacher, or whatever, educator, and you feel like there's a bunch of tools that you guys need to help your young people, let us know. We can help create a suite of tools for you. You know what I'm saying? I mentioned the library. I work with a friend of mine. We go into the library every Wednesday to work with seniors. The average age of my student there is 80, right? 80 years old. I'm teaching them how to use the email, how to check the calendar, right? This lady got in an accident, somebody hit her from behind, and the police told her to get a police report online. She's like, I don't know how to do that. So I had to sit with her and walk her through the process. She had to pay $6 to get the report. She's like, how do I do that? She thought she had to go to the police station. I was like, no, a credit card out, walked her through the process, right? That's one person. Think about how many seniors are going through something like that. So it takes a lot of patience. I mean, I love old people. They love me, and I'm very patient. But we sit down and we talk about, and they ask about AI a lot. It's like my nephew or my grandson talk about it. Like, what is this thing? How can I use it? Right? We were talking yesterday. My friend here, we were talking about, you can build an app that seniors can have access to, where we could do workshops online or person or whatever. They could register for upcoming class. Just make it super easy. They don't have to go searching to find the information. Here's an app. This is what it's for, right? If you want to participate in a class, sign up, right? We got 10 people signed up. We'll have a class at this library or this place. Chicago State could host us, whatever, right? Make it super easy. AI makes it easy. AI gives people the easy button to press. Like, you can build anything and make it very easy for anybody at any age to get involved and figure out how to use this stuff, you know? So again, when it comes to financial literacy, AI, all this stuff, I think our job, what I do and folks in my kind of circle, is to be a bridge between the information and the community, right? And make sure that our communities aren't being left behind. Because the digital divide, the digital literacy divide, financial literacy, it's happening really quickly now, like really fast. And the vast majority of the population has no idea what's happening. They might see it in the news, they might hear about it from somebody, but they don't know how it's going to impact their life. So that's what we're trying to focus on, is how does it affect your life, your day-to-day life, your kids, like the careers that they're thinking about, the college majors they're thinking about, right? If they want to start a business, like that's our job, is to be the bridge between all that stuff and to filter out all the noise. There's a lot of noise out there. The young men were talking about people being scammed, right? With AI, you can replicate your voice. People could take a recording of my voice and create a script for it and have it call people. And you'll think it's me calling you, right? That just happened last week to the Marco Rubio, the Secretary of State. They took his voice, recorded it, and started calling senior officials in the government, and a lot of them fell for it. They thought it was him calling them, right?
Yeah, I had a phone call yesterday. I didn't recognize the phone number. So I was expecting a call from someone. So I happened to answer it, and they introduced themselves. Well, they didn't introduce themselves. They just asked for me, and they knew my number. And I said, yes, this is she. And they said, well, we're going to come by tomorrow and check out your roof. I live in a multi-unit building.
Right.
And so I hung up right away. But I mean, I was thinking maybe they did that to record my voice.
It's possible.
Possibility.
Yeah.
So yeah, you just never know.
Yeah, yeah.
They just said that people possibly y'all they'll say, is this your mom? Wait till you say yes.
Yeah.
I say yes, they record my voice. So now I say, what you want?
Yeah. 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 These days, you just never know. And with AI, you can create videos of people. I mean, there's so much stuff. It's hard to tell what's real. It's scary.
That was going in my bank account.
Really.
I could see my money. I was staying up 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. And I could see the money going. So what I did, I was
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. No. Really? Yeah. It's a lot of fraud. Definitely a lot of fraud happening. So this is my contact information here. If you're on LinkedIn, you can connect with me. My email is on here as well too. Yeah, but my if you want to write down my email address, it's on there too. Yeah. Yeah, you can write it down as well too. Yeah, if you can see it. Yeah, my email address here. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Does anybody have any questions before we kind of wrap up, or? Yeah.
So I am an independent contractor
Okay.
in the financial service industry as
Okay.
a marketer. Are you seeing with your experience, of course, AI is changing the face of it.
Yeah.
What would you recommend? Of course, I'm going to tap into your website.
Yeah.
Are you finding that agents are using it more for like the CRM or just
Oh, definitely.
that's like what ways are you seeing us use that more? Because I'm that weird gap of millennials. I'm 39 this year, so I'm that weird gap where I'm young enough to remember
Right.
technology,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
also old enough to remember I didn't have it
Yeah,
before.
yeah.
So what would you say is changing with that, with us in the industry as far as agents?
Yeah, so one of my team members is in marketing, right? And he's leveraging AI like crazy. Yeah, to develop a lot of online content to reach new customers and stuff. But yeah, it's changing everything, man. Like when it comes to marketing in particular, like you can use it to really accelerate your outreach, customer service. Yesterday we did a session for small business owners in Bradley University, and we built like a chatbot on while so a lot of small business owners have a website, but they couldn't respond when they're awake. So we built a chatbot with some predefined answers to like common questions. So it's available 24/7 and in any language. So we use AI to build that for them, right? So they can provide service, customer service.
And you partner with, you said anybody.
Yeah.
I sent an email earlier today. I'm with the Director of Economic Development for a nonprofit in Inglewood.
Yeah.
And we would love to incorporate what you do with what we do.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
I
definitely.
already sent you an email.
Sounds good. Thank you. Yeah. No, for sure. I'd love to work with them,
I'm
man.
here for this session.
Yeah.
Because that's impressive what you're doing.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah.
Yeah, because as I see, so far too many young people aren't exposed to the financial industry.
At all,
I
man.
mean,
At
so
all.
what are you going to school for? Business.
What kind of business? Thank you.
Exactly.
Yeah. They have no idea, like none.
Exactly.
Because they're not exposed to that stuff, but they want to say something.
Yes.
So they just say, like what they think you want to
They
hear.
want to be in business. Right.
Exactly. So when you start talking about, okay, well, let's start a business. Thank you. Yeah. So these young people I'm working with on this app, I said we could build an app, but we need to build a business. Before we even build anything, we got to build a team. You got to be committed to that. I'm not gonna waste my time. You're not gonna waste. You know what I'm saying? Like we're gonna structure. Is it an LLC? Is it a nonprofit? And take them through that whole process.
You mentioned 4 terms. You said that they're
The young people.
the young people are
Open-minded, coachable. Yeah, open-minded, coachable. They're ambitious, and they have to be on time. I tell them if they're on time, they're late.
I hear you.
So show up 15 minutes early.
Okay.
What I use for training as well.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
I want to salute you.
No, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it, man.
This crusade
Yeah.
I've been doing it for 3 years.
Yeah,
I have a
yeah.
library background.
Okay.
And they helped me grow up.
Yeah.
My mom, we knew how to make money.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
didn't know what to
Do with it, money.
And
Yeah.
that's where the financial literacy comes in.
Yeah.
Financial literacy is knowing what to do with money.
Yeah, exactly.
How
Yeah.
to talk about money.
Yeah.
And so the last 3 years, as I'm talking to people, I specialize right now in life insurance.
Okay.
And I'm studying for the SIE.
Really? Okay. Nice.
Kicking my butt because it's like rocket science.
Yeah.
However, you can teach it to a 16, 17-year-old.
Yeah.
My son's 18, so he's with me in business.
Yeah.
He's picking up like this.
Yeah.
Because their brains are still malleable to where they can take that information.
Yeah.
But if we're waiting until we're 30s,
Yeah,
40s
yeah.
to figure this out,
Yeah.
not only are we in a financial crisis already at home, we're
Right.
now mentally stuck in that loop of working
Yeah.
that job.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, and
Yeah. So what company are you under?
So I'm under Primerica.
Primerica, I got it. Yeah.
Primerica.
Because I work with Prudential, Northwestern Mutual a lot.
Right.
Those guys too. You know what I'm
Big
saying?
dog.
Yeah.
Big dog.
Now, if you ever, my friend is one of the guys who runs Northwestern Mutual here in Chicago.
Really?
He runs the Hyde Park office.
Okay.
So if you're ever thinking about, because he's recruiting heavily right now.
Yeah.
He wants to hire 15 new people this year.
Really?
So if you want to talk to him, let me know.
Okay.
You know, he would be happy to talk to you.
Okay.
He's a brother. He's like killing it in Hyde Park right now. But he's looking for people who want to join the team. You know.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So reach out, man. If you got my information.
Yeah, I got your information.
Yeah.
And the crusade.
No, for sure, man. Thank you.
Man, we were needed.
Yeah. Thank you.
I want to
Hey.
see how you doing. I'm
Good.
trying
I
to
can
get
get my grandson in touch with you or your organization or
Yeah.
whatever because he's in college. He did his first year, but he just changed his major to business.
Which college is he at?
I think it's Southern or something.
Okay.
When you said the word finance, what's the difference between finance and business?
Well-
is that two different?
Yeah, he could be taking general business. He could be taking it could be a finance major. You know. So it depends on, I don't know what his major is actually.
He has a business administration.
He could be a
He gonna get a business administration.
I don't know what he's gonna get.
Maybe he's majoring. His
But he
concentration
don't
is
really
finance.
know, so he switched to business.
You
So
know
I
what?
don't know.
How close he is to graduation? Do you know?
He just did a year.
Oh, so he's
So he's a
freshman.
He'll be a sophomore.
Okay, yeah, definitely put him in touch with me. I mean, you know.
You coming to Atlas, so I'll see you come
Yeah.
to Atlas too.
Yeah. Thank you.
I need help.
I got you.
We're at Atlas Senior Center. I want to invite you to
Yeah.
come and talk to my class.
For sure, let's do it.
Okay.
We'll do it.
It won't be too
I
long.
don't
I got you.
know about the rest of them. Because I barely know how to turn on computers.
I got your website. She learning that in my.
Yeah.
I got the website out here.
But I'll give you my number and stuff before we leave.
Okay, good.
All right, thank you. Yeah.